have to get it right theologically.
We said,
You've got to get the fundamentals right this way.
And see, I didn't even want to tell people I grew up in the Baptist church. I know all about fundamentals.
We will speak in that process.
Yes.
Narrow gauge rails.
We're gonna lose
It's
it.
hell when you
That's
get
why
off.
they put me in the pool, get up there, and I might
Use him
laugh
for
back
6
into
months,
the,
he's
you know,
going to.
those long, drawn out
Yes,
stuff.
summer place.
Okay.
On the mountain.
I mean, every Sunday it was hellfire and brimstone around. Because we were what we call referred to as a primitive Baptist. See, people get all confused, they assume more familiar with Southern Baptists and say, no, that's a denomination unto
In your
itself.
pocket, all right, you have a pocket. Okay.
Yeah, they're their own thing.
And how would you define your particular brand?
Very, no, not. I guess that's the way Southern Baptists and Southern Baptists.
Zoom down, I will take
Southern
care of
Baptists
that.
tend to be more politically.
Yeah. Yeah,
Whereas
but
the others, there's not as much in the way of politics. Here he is, and I've only laid eyes on one other time. So it's, in those Southern Baptist churches, I've never.
Good
seen
morning,
small
sir. How are you?
to be all really big congregations.
Okay, I'm good.
I got your leadership thing.
How are you doing?
Yes, he did.
Finally.
Yep, we had twice.
I think, well, my dad was the American Lutheran Church brand of Lutheran.
Thank you.
Oh,
you're more than welcome.
I'm just sorry it took a couple theological things that were really paramount. He too wasn't political, he wasn't denominational. For him, it was the infallible, inspired, inerrant Word of God, and get it right or go to hell.
Yeah.
And so that was where I was at a fundamentalist church. But very, very much the same importance. Love is very important, so there's that aspect too. So, yeah.
Just what their love comes to spankings.
Well, you spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a meeting I got to attend to. So, thanks. Welcome. Hi. Martha.
I came in the door and somebody asked me if I was going to speak. I said I might perhaps back into the old Baptist ways and then we'll be here for a while.
Sandy, is she already there?
I don't know, she may be downstairs.
In North Carolina, that accent's a little far off.
Yeah, we should be soon because I need to get practice.
You see, North Carolina, as you go across the state, it's kind of like it's not like South Dakota that's more or less a monolith.
Well, you know, sometimes
Very West River Cowboys.
I can tell some of these issues.
I'm John Cunningham.
Good to meet you, John. How you doing there?
I'm so good I can't hardly stand it.
Well, there you go now. That's what we want to hear. So that's what we want to hear.
It's, so far so good. That's how life goes at my age.
Right.
Now when I hear you're Oregonian, it saves so much fuel.
I'm talking to
Canadians. Okay, I could always see that. Realize that.
Did you think of a place we might eat?
There is a tight place.
You're at USF, yeah, and then
Also, focus.
I mean, if you feel like the kind of place is it's just going down, terribly downhill.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. And then I found, as far as the arts,
And I haven't played them for.
Everything on that. for a student, and then,
She should be a project. So, and apparently, I remembered something. Yeah. So that would, sort of talk to the children.
Advisable.
And I was, there was some sort of.
Well, if there's another Asian restaurant that just happens to have
But
some
I don't
Thai
know that I
food,
don't think I'm gonna make the connection, the connection.
and I'm all about the thing, what I really need to do is adopt
And
a
your child.
I need to go ahead and eat one more bigger than, see what the sugar spikes,
Learn things. Enough time. Yeah, right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then you go to bed.
Right. So I thought I wouldn't emphasize.
okay. Peter.
Oh, really? Okay. I guess I feel better.
Yeah. Thank you.
Or, like I say, the other thing is, if I can park somewhere nobody's gonna get the hatch open, the Thai place might, would do that.
Well, you know, parallel parking and that, That's
Or maybe we can park back to back.
Yeah, it's going to be,
Something like, well, it needs to be the other way around, but. And I haven't had Japanese in a while. But if they get in front of you.
They don't there, but.
It still has a summertime.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, those are.
And those places are really high car yeah.
I was considering this, and you have a long distance.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
We can go half an hour.
Yeah, on an open street and then, you're trying to get your toes even across that, and it's wilderness. Oh, yeah.
It's just, I've got Chinese available there in Worthington, like this, why I was kind of looking for Thai or Japanese would be a big deviation from the norm.
It wasn't meant to be that difficult a question.
Let me see what you got, let me smell it.
It's downstairs. I was just gonna bring you a cup.
Oh, well, I'll stretch my legs.
Okay. Yes. And that's, you know, that's just enough to get used to it, that you feel like you can actually do that. But you still, you have. Yes, absolutely. What? Yeah, and Dan and I are supposed to, I'm not sure what. I don't mean to bother you, but it's 9:55.
Yeah. All in favor, say I think at the moment it's time Right. That's something that would be important for the dog.
It's today right after? How are you?
How are you? I'm fine.
Do you live stream this or is this?
Yes.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, that's, it should be live streaming, and there should be an address for the live stream
On your
there.
So my younger nephew, he was at something, going to Baptist church as a child, 8 years old. People up the road from us, a couple of houses, were Pentecostals. He was friends with the little boy, so he went to the church.
You okay?
Yeah.
Any questions?
I've seen
Okay.
the spirit move before, but never quite like that.
East African Pentecostal. That would be
The point is, we're glad you're all here, grateful that you came, and as a word of welcome, we traditionally have said that people are welcome here who have joined us for the first time, or who have been members for a long time, and whatever faiths you've known or not known, and whatever heritage you come from, you're welcome. Whatever questions you hold, whatever truths you seek, whatever sorrows you have seen, whatever joy has filled your heart, welcome. And there are sometimes, although nobody has said anything to me, announcements to be made before we get started. So if anybody has any announcements, come forward. No.
Is this working? Yeah. Working? Okay. I'm John Cunningham. The two things. First, the observation that we're known as a leftist organization, and I noticed that 3/4 of the people always sit on the left side. The other thing is that the board started its, is this,
It is working.
it didn't work, okay, I can remember the girl. The board started its strategic plan update yesterday, and we worked through mostly the, down through the goals. And we'll be working on objectives in an upcoming meeting in a week or two. And so if any of you have ideas about what you think the church should be doing, either in the congregation or in the community, things, activities that you would like to see us do, would you forward those to Eric Berg or Minister Sogstad? Because I'm going to be gone for the next month. So we encourage you to provide your ideas to the board for their consideration.
Morning, Rick Noby. Next Saturday, as I'm sure all of you are aware, is Earth Day. It's the day we go clean up the city, clean up our own yards, plant a tree, hug a tree, something like that, to pay respect to our environment and our Mother Earth. Also, this Saturday on Earth Day, hopefully hundreds of us will be gathering at Faywick Park at 3:30 to gather to march over to City Hall right after that to show support for the steering committee's sustainability plan. I know that's been in the news. I can see a couple of you nodding your heads up and down, so you're aware of it. There is a debate among the members of the community as to what's going to happen with our sustainability plan. The one that was created by the steering committee, I think, is rock solid. The mayor has spoken eloquently in the past about his support for sustainability. He has been suspiciously silent lately, I'll just put it that way. And the purpose of the rally is to gather support, to let him know that there are literally hundreds of us that care about this issue, probably thousands of us, and that we want some positive action quickly. We are also going to, it's a two-pronged approach, we also want the city council, who has the power and authority and responsibility to set city policy, and this would be a city policy issue, and get that on the city council agenda as soon as absolutely possible. Waiting, pedaling, backpedaling, etc. is not an option, because as you all know, if you've been following the weather patterns around here and around the world, things are changing. Can we stop the change? Realistically speaking, probably not. Can we impact the severity of the change? Most definitely. All the science points to that. And so I hope that next Saturday you will gather yourselves, your friends, your neighbors, your children, and join us at Faywick Park at 3:30. Thank you. Godspeed.
My name's Eric Burke, and immediately following the service, the those people who are interested in finding out more about All Souls Church or becoming a member of All Souls Church, don't go downstairs for coffee, but go to the library, far back in, there will be some snacks and treats there. We'll have a little discussion about what it takes and what All Souls needs. And if you can't make it today, it will also be repeated this Wednesday evening here at the church at 6:30. Thank you.
This is the second round.
Everybody should get one round first. One of the problems challenges we face is that starting in June, Laurel, who does our children's program downstairs, will not be available. And so if there are any people here who would like to volunteer to meet once a month or whatever possibility you can do, this is a tremendously important program. We just love the children here. And so if there's anybody who would like to volunteer, please step up.
Tuesday night, 7.
Pardon me?
7 o'clock, Tuesday night.
For your dinner?
No more.
Yes.
Shouldn't have paused that.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zhenya. Our family has been hosting Wednesday potluck at our house. And just a reminder that this coming week, the potluck will be on too. It's every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at our house. If you want more information, just talk to me at the end of the service. Thank you.
Lots of opportunities and activities to be involved in. And now we move into the prelude. to various pieces of music and had a chance to meditate. Let us think about these words as we light the chalice. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude for those who have lighted the flame within us. We're going to sing now a song that is really upbeat, and to rejoice and come in, number 361. So stand as you are able. Our readings, three readings during this service are all connected to themes of peace. And the first reading is number 584, and that's by Martin Luther King Jr. And the bold type I'm going to read, and you can respond with the italicized. And it's called The Network of Mutuality. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
There are some things in our social system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted.
Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that.
We must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation.
The foundation of such a method is love.
Before it's too late, we must narrow the gaping chasm between our proclamation of peace and our lowly deeds which precipitate and perpetuate war.
One day, we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal.
We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means.
We shall hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope.
I will invite the children to join me if you like, and we can all sort of sit around here. Aha, so, what? Well, I need to sit down too, I think. So, have any of you ever lost anything and couldn't find it? All of you. Well, I had that experience too, and sometimes when you're looking for things, you find things that you didn't expect to find, that you weren't looking for. And perhaps that's what happened to me, because I was trying to look for something for all of you. And what I found was, I found a money box. And inside the money box, there were all kinds of coins. And I thought of Sandrine and her children, and I found some French coins in my money box. And this one, which you can't see, but you can see, I don't mind whether you mind handling this, it's an old piece, it's an old coin, but it says 1855 on the coin, so it's 100 and, anybody good at?
Do it, Terry. 1855.
No, 32 years short of
63, 163. So maybe you were born at 55. Yes, sir. Yeah, so it's probably 100 years older than Scott. So, 163 years ago. And the emperor in France was named Napoleon, Napoleon III. And I was really surprised to find that. I thought, well, that's interesting. But what I was really looking for was a musical instrument that I had when I was a kid. And the musical instrument that I had was a recorder. And I brought it with me to America from England. And I don't know why I kept it, perhaps because I wanted to play it again. But I never did play it. And so I couldn't find it. I put it somewhere and couldn't find it. So it brought to mind a question that I bring to you. Or perhaps it's not even a question, but the grown-ups can answer it. Were there things that you learned when you were a child that you can still do now? Things that you haven't done for a long time. One of them is obviously riding a bicycle. So once you learn to ride a bicycle, in theory and in practice, you really don't forget how to do it. And so I think I could still ride a bicycle. I don't ride a bicycle as well as I used to, but after a little while I think I could ride it. But anyway, what else is there that you learn? You learn all kinds of things. You learn how to do math, you learn and while you're young you learn to do all those sorts of things. So are there things that you've learned that you think you're always going to remember? Any things that you have learned? I think. And the grown-ups, are the things that you learned as a child that you remember? Go ahead. Piano, did you start playing the piano? Musical instruments are really great for that. So anyway, I kept looking for a musical instrument. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Not for you. I found 5 musical instruments suddenly out in a drawer. But I couldn't find the one I was looking for. So here we are. There are 5. This is actually one I had when I was a kid. This is called a tin whistle. A penny whistle, we used to call it. And even though you think you can still do things that you used to be able to do, I've developed something of a tremor and I can't play them. So that's the scale, right? That's a Tim was, this is a metronome, but this is the one I have. And I can see that when I put my teeth into it, I used to close it off. I have to lever it up. But these are recorders that I was, and how many of you have you learned the recorder too? Here you go. Can you play us something? That's it, you can remember the notes, can't you? And I was the same, so I had these books when I was a kid too. These are my dad's books, and they're all kinds of songs from England, spirituals, plantation songs, sea shanties, hymns and carols, all that kind of thing. And I got them, and then I gave them to Carol the other week, and I realized that when I picked up the recorder, this is what I used to do with my recorder. I used to play these songs. So Carol had the book, and I was sitting at home playing my songs, and I could still play them a bit. But I'm not brave enough, I don't think, to play for you, because I have never played in public. So I don't know, maybe this could either be, this is the end of the story, really. So Carol told me, I found this song that I always used to like to play, and I tried to play it last night. Anyway, that's a start. I think that's the story. It sort of proves that when you learn something, you don't forget it sometimes. You may not do it as well as you used to do it. But here's this is the other one. So I found 5 musical instruments. This is the other one. So, there you go. So I thought that was really, I enjoyed doing that, finding something that I had lost, and then finding out I hadn't really lost it at all. So thank you for listening. I'm going to sing the children out.
Oh, melodies, oh, melodies, lay the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Well, so much for culture, huh? We're going to move now into hearing from you about your joys and concerns. And in order to start this off, we need to take a stone from the pile here and place it in the water. And I'm going to ask you to do the same, to come forward, if you wish, you share and tell us your joy or your concern, and take the stone and put it in the bowl symbolically, creating a ripple that goes out to all of us. So, tell us who you are when you take the microphone.
Hi, my name is Dan Reiki, and I have both joys and sorrows to share today. First of all, my joy is the ability to, as an old man, pick up the violin again and play some music with JC. I'm so pleased that we could work together, and what you don't know is that while we were playing our song, we had a repeat, and I went on to the next thing to do the repeat, and I'm sitting there going, okay. And JC was so sweet, she just kept on playing, waited for me to catch up to her. And this is so nice a place to be, where you've got people who really don't care if you honestly make a mistake, you didn't mean to, but you do, and you're loved even so. This is a great place to be. So JC, I'm so thankful to have enjoyed playing music with you, and I hope that you and Carol and maybe Zhenya and others who say, you know, I'm not perfect, but I'd sure like to give it a try, we'll continue that tradition. I'm going to be leaving this next Wednesday for a trip out to the West Coast. I have a cabin on a lake, and I'm really a West Coast guy, but I spend about half the year here and half the year there. So I'll be leaving and not coming back till mid-October. But the story that I need to share with you is kind of a joy and sorrow. My father started a Lutheran church in South Seattle back in the 40s. And it was an old American Lutheran church. My dad went out and started the church. And my brother and I were there, and we had the first members meet right in the little house that my dad and mom rented, and the thing grew from there. Well, after over 75 years, this church is now no longer going to be a Lutheran church. The membership diminished after my father passed and left. So they're going to have a closing service this next Sunday. My brother and I want to go and be there for that closing service, both to celebrate all the good that happened and also to wish the congregation well, because the community has changed complexion over the years. And although it was a bowling community and filled with a lot of white folks, over the years the community has shifted to Hispanic and Somalia and Ukrainian. A variety of ethnic people have moved into the South Center area, and the church will continue to be served and is going to be used by a large Hispanic community, Ethiopian and Ukrainian. So we want to go and celebrate the fact that it's going to continue to go on and serve other people in the community. So anyway, I'm going to miss you, but I hope to be back in October to continue to be part of this fellowship. So thanks to everybody.
Hello to everybody. I'm visiting from Northwest Iowa. So the joy I want to share is, for those of you, if anyone in the audience is a fan of birds, I will be presenting a bird walk program at Newton Hills State Park on May the 20th. It's free to the public, other than your park sticker to get in the park and park your vehicle. So feel free after the service, if you have any questions about that, I'll be glad to answer those. But we'll be concentrating on migrating songbirds, anything else that might happen to be there with feathers. So by all means, feel free to join me. Thank you.
Eric, thank you. That was very good. May 20th
Yes.
at Newton Hills.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. 8 o'clock
Morning or evening?
in the morning. If you go late in the evening, all you're going to hear is screech owls.
And Dan, you will in fact be missed.
Thank you, Terry.
You are welcome. The other thing I wanted to just mention, I want to pull the scab off a sore. And we have been having, I don't even know, an epidemic of gun violence in this country. It is uniquely American. And I don't know exactly where that comes from, but other places have mental illness and does not have this gun violence, these mass shootings. And as I was driving in this morning, I heard that there was another one or two in Louisville and places like that. I don't remember specifically, but I went, oh my God, still more? Anyway, the sore is now open, and I guess the only thing I can say is that if anybody knows of a hunting purpose for an AR-15, please let me know, because I do not see a purpose other than killing people on a battlefield or in a bank for that particular type of weapon. And I do not understand why American hunters continue to put up with this.
So let me add a stone for all the thoughts and concerns that are rattling around in your mind that maybe are not suitable or you're not able to voice them at this point. Then we'll have a few moments of silence where we reflect on the things that have been said, and then we'll move on. Second song we're going to encompass today is number 159, which is in the Grey hymnal, and the same routine applies. You stand as you are able. And, this is Finlandia is the name of the tune. And I'll ask Carol to play through. We're very fortunate today to have Zhenya Lukyanova come to speak to us again. Zhenya was in Ukraine last year, or the year before even maybe, and she returned and told us about her experiences helping refugees. She comes to us again and is going to give us an update. So I'm going to ask her to come forward and speak to us. Oh, we missed a hymn. Have I missed something?
Reading.
A reading out.
I know, line the challenge.
Missed something else as well.
Line the challenge.
Oh, it's gone out. Actually, it hasn't gone out.
Small smart.
There is the reading is relevant to Zenya's talk as the other readings. And Alan, our minister, sent me a little email message this morning. He's speaking at the fellowship in Okoboji this morning. And he said, the last hymn, We Shall Overcome, he said, I'm sure you understand that this is to be sung in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. So while we're looking for number 583, we will do this reading in the same way that we have done the previous one, and it's from Archibald MacLeish. And I believe Archibald MacLeish was is an English poet, and he wrote after, I think, the First World War, wrote these words. And so these are the words of the young dead soldiers. The young dead soldiers do not speak.
Nevertheless, they are heard in the still houses. Who has not heard them?
They have a silence that speaks for them at night, and when the clock counts,
They say, we were young, we have died, remember us.
they say we have done what we could, but until it is finished, it is not done.
They say we have given our lives, but until it is finished, no one can know what our lives gave.
They say our deaths are not ours, they are yours. They will mean what you make them.
They say whether our lives and our deaths were for peace and a new hope, or for nothing, we cannot say. It is you who must say this.
They say, we leave you our deaths, give them their meaning.
We were young, they say. We have died. Remember us.
So, my second introduction of Zhenya Lukyanova, I asked Zhenya to come forward and speak to us. I noticed she was reticent before. She knew we were going to have another reading.
Oh, thank you very much.
I think I'm going to give you the microphone.
That works.
It does work.
Okay, everything works. Thank you very much for having me today, and I appreciate this gathering, because while I'm going to speak today for 15-20 minutes, you, willingly or not, are going to contribute or send your energy, elevate vibrations to all those people who are, we're talking about between 11 and 12 million people, refugees who have moved from their country to Europe, US, some other places in the world. So I invite you
send your energy, your loving energy, support and caring to those people in the world. So what gives me right to talk about refugees, Ukrainian refugees today, that after leaving Poland, I was not in Ukraine, I was volunteering on Polish-Ukrainian border, is that I thought that my volunteering will be over as soon as I come back to the US. It didn't happen so. My phone constantly buzzing because I'm part of 2-3 groups of volunteers who are all over the world and who are helping or participating this or that way in providing information, support, emotional support, or not so emotional support to people who have been moved from their countries, from their country to other countries. And I would say, please don't look for any logic or golden thread in my presentation today, because there is no logic in it. We, as a humanity, it's very hectic, so to give you the impression of that, I'm going to jump from one thing to another, and I do it with attention. So, one of the most deepest problems which people meet is psychological discomfort. So whatever hospitality people from Europe, European Union, or the United States, or countries in South America are trying to provide, it does not help people to find peace inside. I noticed that in one of the readings today, you were referring Martin Luther King Jr. About finding peace inside you to provide the peace. But it's hard to apply to people whose country is completely, part of the country is completely demolished and destroyed. Finding the peace is a huge work. Hundreds of volunteer psychologists are working distantly or in person with Ukrainian refugees. Unfortunately, the person has to reach certain level of awareness to accept that help, and that's another underlying problem. But there's a huge joint effort to provide people, firstly, psychological comfort, the idea that they are needed regardless. Another problem which people are facing is that our governments are so slow. Because when the problem comes, it's the first time ever when Europe especially faced the flood of refugees from another country. And first, a year ago, I remember the expectation was, okay, 3 months. Some countries half a year. US humanitarian parole promised a year. A year is over. Fortunately, I'll tell you, I don't know, I'm not aware of a single case of deportation. So, but you are, and I have one refugee in Minneapolis, so her parole was over on the 10th of April. And not a single attorney, immigration lawyer, can tell what's to do next. But the systems are people. It's still somehow, in some way, it does work. So the first problem is psychological problem. The second problem is the status problem, which are kind of interconnected because people like to know what's going to happen to them tomorrow. It also includes financial help, food, all that fundamental base of a well-known Abraham Maslow's pyramid. And at this point, there is absolutely unique movement of volunteers all over the world. Because when the government, synchronistically, today in the morning, DW's German channel, there was episode or interview with Maria, I don't recall her last name. She from Austria. So she was a regular worker in the bank when the war started. And there's a human being at the back of the and she couldn't stand it. So she started collecting money. She organized some sort of volunteer organization to help refugees. And for already more than a year, she runs that organization. And sometimes you get the funds are over, so there's no more money. What you do is send reach out to people, and in some sort of miracle way, which we're probably not even aware of that, the money would come. There was at the very end of that episode, they showed a multiple story building where the people from Ukraine, refugees from Ukraine with different kind of disabilities live, and that building then gets shut down for a number of reasons, because the government, any government in any country, they have to provide safety, they have certain security requirements, etc., etc., etc. So they must shut down the building for a number of reasons. What to do with the people? I don't know yet, but I know that it's all probably solved because of people, volunteers, not volunteers, who will step out and help to solve that problem. And it's interesting how my personal, so I know that personal experience is not relevant in science, but it's kind of reality relevant in this kind of field of human life, human existence. I never liked social media. Facebook, Telegram channel, never understood the logic of it, or purpose of it. Apparently it works. So I went from, I think, 16 friends on Facebook to 800? I don't know, believe me, they're all very useful connection, very useful connections. Not so long ago, I got a message from a guy, from my friend who I never met in California, asking for volunteer drivers, because there are 2 vans in London ready to get moved to Polish-Ukrainian border, then moved to Ukraine to use as evacuation buses for people in Warsaw. So I sent forward that request to a friend of mine from London, and in about 20-25 minutes ago, he said, oh, that's good, because I'm all alone. I just contacted my friend, and we're going to do that. So those buses with humanitarian aid were driven the next weekend to the destination port. Then the situation is absolutely like a saw. Remember, there was really successful war wind in early autumn, early fall. So guess what? All people who are missing their homes on that wave started moving back to Ukraine, and then there was bombing bombing started about the same time. Not all, but there was another mass of people moving back. Today, actually yesterday, the 15th, was a really big buzz. We don't know how things will going after today, because yesterday was the last train, humanitarian train from Przemysl, Polish-Ukrainian border, to Hanover. Every second day since last year, the train was taking between 400 to last month at least it was 700 people. So 350 people moving to Germany. And there are refugee camps in Germany where people, well, they are governed by the government, of course, but the most things are provided by volunteers. And the situation is, it's very hectic. At certain level, probably you get the hecticness from what I am referring to. But meanwhile, at the higher level of organization, it's actually very well organized. Because every single case got solved. You get up and work, you see, oh, what can I do today? Oh, there is a picture of someone lost documents in one of the train stations in Europe. Do you know the person? Please spread this information out. Yeah, documents were, the owner of the documents was found, documents were transferred there. A couple of days ago I woke up and there's the mother, pregnant mother, was saved from Bakhmut. Bakhmut is the place where it's really hot right now. And I know there is mandatory evacuation from that place. How the pregnant mother who gave birth to triplets happened to be there. And apparently I was not the only one. And the request is, can you find shelter for them in Medica? It's a small Polish town. And it's really weird. Apparently it was not about human, it was a service dog whose soldier, the owner, was killed. And that dog apparently was the mother of the triplets. Well, we solved that problem very intensively because those puppies, to move through the border, they have to get all the vaccinations. There's no way they could have gotten vaccinations. So there was a volunteer veterinarian from Poland who went to Ukraine, did all the paperwork, so that case was solved. And those kids, it's so chaotic, it's so unpredictable. But meanwhile, every single case is solved. Another part of that problem is huge because there are so many Ukrainians who were forced to move to Russia and went through those so-called filtration camps. But somehow they do have right to leave Russia and go to Europe. It is very complicated, but meanwhile, it is possible. And that's another part of the job we are doing. Is the organization, completely voluntary organization, which is called Rubicus. And they have, I don't know how many people who work there. It's kind of, it's not for public information, because we are dealing with people who can possibly be persecuted in Russia for helping. But this is individual case. First, you find a way to let Ukrainians in Russia know that there is a way out. Then you have to persuade them that it is a safe way to fill up the application and provide you personal information. Then they got connected with volunteers. That stage is completely shut down. There's no details revealed because they build up individual routes for people who are way out. I'm very happy and proud that last week, no, it's already 2 weeks ago, one of the family of 3 people from Mariupol, mother and 2 adult children in their 20s and 30s were moved from Sense to Finland. That was very successful story. And today is the line, the whole line is about volunteering aids and help and celebration to people. So this weekend, volunteers in whole Europe are making joint effort with Ukrainian refugees to get something really nice and personal to thousands of Ukrainian soldiers who are treated or recovering in European hospitals, in Germany especially, and in Poland. Because today happened to be Orthodox Easter, thank you. Orthodox Easter, and it is a huge celebration in Ukraine. So my line today, my news line has all these pictures of dyed eggs and some knickknacks which people deliver to the hospitals to make up people's life better. Thank you very much again. I appreciate your patience with my hecticness, but that's how it is. This is the best representation of how it was. Thank you very much.
So after the service, you will be setting up chairs for a circle discussion. To make an offertory is a tradition in most churches to keep the lights on and the place warm, as well as also to provide for a community. We put half of our loose collection to help support in this case, for this month, a music concert at McLaughlin Elementary School on the Standing Rock Reservation. So some of the loose change in the collection will be going to that cause. say together the words in your order of service for receiving the offering.
Receive these gifts freely. We receive these gifts gratefully. We dedicate these gifts to the work of our congregation, serving human wholeness, caring for our planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another.
Let us join together in singing number 169, We Shall Overcome. To extinguish the chalice, let us hear these words on Olympia Brown. A great lesson. We can never make the world safe by fighting. Every nation must learn that the people of all nations are children of God and must share the wealth of the world. We may say this is impractical, far away, can never be accomplished, but it is the work we are appointed to do. Sometime, somehow, somewhere, we must each teach this great lesson. We'll say the words of the extinguishing the chalice.
Chalice is extinguished, but the light goes with us out into the world.
Please join us for coffee, and then in about 10 minutes, we'll come back and have a discussion around the circle.